Hi, everyone. This is N, Head of Community at Livepeer, and welcome to our Watercooler chat on Monday. I have a few topics today, and we have actually a good number of topics we'll go through. So I'll jump right into the community updates. As I had mentioned, we're doing some community strategy work internally at Inc., and now that is been finalized. So a number of initiatives coming up that I'll be undertaking. One being workshops on the different aspects of Livepeer's network. So orchestration, delegation, how the network works, to try to start to educate more people on the amazing things we're doing here. The second one will be delegator workshops that we're going to do IRL. The first two will be in Salt Lake, where I'm located, and also Abuja, Nigeria. So those will be the intended purpose of those is to get more delegators on the network and get more people engaged in what we're doing here. And you'll see a theme throughout all of this is to get more folks in the community. And we will also be starting a top of funnel on Twitter kind of roundtable on online video to try to expand the narrative in which Livepeer is tapped into. So talking to streamers and seeing kind of what their experiences are with live video, as well as talking about real-time video AI. So that will be upcoming in the next month. Me and Carlotta will be working on a lot of the event side of things. And yeah, I'm super excited for all of that. So those are the updates for me today, and there might be a few other experiments I do. So I'll kind of update as we go on. The first topic is the pre-proposal that is up on the forum. So if you want to take that away.
And do you mind skipping me for right now and putting me next?
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
No worries.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so the next topic is the regulatory frameworks in the U.S. for um, agents. So define what did you want to talk about there?
Oh, yeah, sure. So, first, I would like to very briefly give an update for the members of the community that not follow our our channel. So we have a Discord channel. I'm gonna copy the link here where we update at least weekly. So if you guys want, you can always get our progress there. And this today, actually, we are about to release our custom jobs in a set of six orchestrators, which are about to receive those. We are doing some testing together with Brad, and once we verify that everything is okay, we will just start sending those jobs for the eligible orchestrators. As it was, we have already explained it. We will put a forum article. This was explained in the previous fireside. I think it was two firesides ago, if I'm not incorrect. And so that's really cool. We will see how it will go with the first iteration. Then we will put the actual logic inside once we made sure that the safeguards and the payment logic all add up and we have no considerable hiccups or anything that can go terribly wrong. And once we do that, we're looking to put the logic out and see the agents acting. And while designing for that and extrapolating it, we find out that if we want to have the agents get paid and doing paid work, they're basically categorized, at least in Europe, differently if they want to reach that region. So if you want to offer services for someone who is European and want to offer the VTuber service, that's gonna put you somewhere in the regulatory framework. So the utility of actually having the agents becoming able to offer work, it was promised to have the P&L starting rolling from this month before we're doing the all the regulatory job and working with legal specialists to find out and lawyers to find out what exactly we need to do. We cannot roll it with consideration out, so we need to wait for that. But the actual jobs, and there are a lot of cool things that the agents can do without offering jobs and self-improving. It will be out for the orchestrators when we solve all the bugs and pass all the quality controls on the main agent app. And so this is something, if I don't know if anyone here has any particular opinion in the legal side of AI agents job. We also research a lot of different things, including autonomous agents and agents as entities. But yeah, I would love to hear any opinions or any comments on this. So that's the updates, guys. I would be really looking forward to showcasing our latest work in the Berlin workshop. So yeah,
Any comments for Define on that? It doesn't. I think, yeah, that's a challenging uh, topic. I think for figuring out like regulatory stuff. What research have you done so far? Do you find maybe folks can help you and direct you to like resources that you might not have found yet?
yeah, definitely. So we first researched the autonomous agent as legal entities, and we tried to figure out if this is something for Europe right now, if this is something that could happen in Europe. We took a legal opinion that this is was something that actually the European Union tried very earlier, I think in 2017, but it wasn't passed for kind of the very primitive AI entities to have their legal entity. So this is something that's basically not going to happen on Europe. You always need to have a, a legal entity which is based on human, so you have that risk there. And then we just like went on the uh, regulations that you need to fill to just enter the European market, and how when the actual enforcing is gonna take place. So it's gonna most of the waves of the enforcing and are gonna come into act, I think, on this August, and there's gonna be about 1 year more preparation period. So all the companies and all the startups who do those stuffs now, they have a very big advantage of being ready for and and basically you have in Europe different categorizations of different kind of regulations for general AI agents, which is going to come to effect in very different categories generally. Uh, and so most of the research is European. So if anyone has any input on the US market or where to look, I know that this is a challenging topic, but I see here there are a lot of capable people in, especially on business matter, with their own very successful companies and very knowledgeable and intelligent people as well. So if they have any opinion on how you think we should approach this, or any kind of people that they can even point us to the right direction in this very unique field, because we're doing decentralization plus artificial intelligence. So we're in the confluence of two of them. So if you have any maybe particular recommendation where we can get more advice, it would also be extremely helpful.
Awesome. If there's no comments from other folks, what I'll do is I'll make a thread in general for the topic define and see if anyone who couldn't make it today has resources, thoughts, any legal perspectives um, to help you out with that. How does that sound?
Yes, that sounds awesome. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Okay. And again, if anyone has any lingering thoughts for agent oh my God, agent regulation um, in the EU and US, just put it in chat. Okay. We will move back to the pre-proposal on the forum. Are you ready now to chat about that?
Yes, thank you. I am ready to chat about that. I'll keep this brief. I just wanted to make sure everyone was aware that the proposal did go up on the forum. Um, Again, I've seen it's gotten some views. There haven't been any comments yet. I'm really eager to hear feedback based on what I put in there. Um, Obviously, I'm open to applying feedback as well. So for those of you who may not know, I've been running the community Arbitrum node for quite a while now. And it's a RPC service, Arbitrum RPC service. It's free to use if you're a Livepeer member, right? So all the orchestrators, broadcasters, even delegators, as long as you're actively staking at least 100 LPT. So, that is getting more and more challenging to run just because of the compute and storage needs. And it's costly and, a non-trivial task. So I am asking for funding from the Treasury to, one, greatly improve the service with just better and more redundant hardware. So yeah, just looking for feedback from the group.
Awesome. Thank you, Joey. Yeah, any feedback from folks?
I'll say if there's no questions right now, you want to think about it, that's fine. I would encourage everyone to hop in the forum and leave a comment there as well.
I would just
Hey
chime in and say I
Joey,
think
what's Go ahead.
yeah, I'll finish my comment and then Titan can chime in. I was just going to highlight, I think I said this last week, the Arbitrum RPC node's been a great public good service for the whole Livepeer ecosystem. Everyone who uses it greatly appreciates it. So I think, when we talk about using the Treasury to fund actual public goods that benefit everyone, this is a great example. So if you're not familiar with it, you can read the post in the forum. The other quick comment I was going to have on the proposal, I have skimmed it. I think you were highlighting, the entirety of the funding would go towards the cost of running the node. I did want to highlight, like, your time is certainly very valuable, and I think everyone wants it to be a high quality, monitored, maintained service. So, I would encourage you to have some overhead on the budget to compensate you for your own time that you're putting in, because certainly we wouldn't want anyone to feel like they can only do this and have to spend all this time just to pass the money through to underlying service providers entirely. So I think there's a healthy balance there for this and all SPEs as well.
Certainly.
Yeah, that was one of the things that I said. Oh, sorry, Joey.
No, go
I
ahead,
just
Mike.
wanted to echo the same thing. I spoke to Joey with his original draft prior to posting it on the forum, and I expressed that to him. And I still feel like, looking at the current proposal, it still looks a little light in that regard. Being a Arbitrum and an Ethereum node operator myself, I think there's definitely all kinds of hidden surprises and upgrades and complexities that tend to be underestimated when putting a proposal like that together. So please just make sure that there's some additional buffer in there for your time.
I appreciate that, and I've placed an amount in there for my time. You're not the first to tell me so far that it seems a little low. So I mean, I will definitely take that into consideration. You know, I appreciate that you want to make sure my time is being compensated. You know, I do have a full-time job, right? So this is something I do on the side for fun, but I know, time is valuable, and I will definitely take that into careful consideration before I make the full proposal in the Treasury. And any updates I make, I'll obviously post to the forum.
Titan, did you want to say something? No? Okay. I thought you had mentioned. Oh.
Yeah, how much, Joey? How much was the proposal asking for? I missed that.
So currently, in US dollar amounts, it's asking for 25,500 equivalent. That is not all us. So I would say about half of that is related to one-time incurred like man hours for this go around to redeploy to new resources, make improvements to the software, so on and so forth. But I will highlight that the proposal, it does explain that, I'm not asking for I don't want to receive all the funds up front. I'm going to be doing like quarterly treasury proposals to cover the ongoing maintenance costs. I didn't want to get a whole bunch of LPT at once and have to sell it all off. One, to, protect, my price point, right? Because it is going to cover actual costs. But that puts it at around 13,000, I think. I got to pull open the proposal, but 13,000 quarterly, whatever the LPT equivalent of that will be.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much. Have you considered doing like time release contracts and just doing it all in one, or would you rather just do quarterly asks?
I'd rather do quarterly asks. I mean, as long as it doesn't, I don't know, there's a balance there. I want the community to obviously have, an input on the continued operation of the service. There may be unforeseen things that come up in the future that require new improvements, or one of the ideas I had was actually taking some of the funds that I've even got in this proposal earmarked for working on the RPC balancer application that I put together. Maybe doing like a bounty for anybody who wants to step up and try and actually implement that into the Go Livepeer software directly. So as things come up, I want to be able to request more directed funding for those things. So if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense, at least on my end. The other thing I wanted to mention is, if you don't have a ton of comments, like that's not always a bad thing. So I know you always want to get input, but I think from the folks who I have heard talk about this, it seems like people are really valuing what you're doing. So, the standard procedure is 7 days on the forum, and then if there's no comments, no requests for a different iteration, you're free to push that to Unchain.
Perfect.
Awesome. Any other
All right.
comments?
Well, again, everyone, if you have comments, drop them in the forum. I'll be quick to respond. And just thank you, everyone, for their support.
Of course, thank you, Joey, for doing the labor. It's definitely not easy, so we appreciate you contributing that to the network. Awesome. We have a comment from John. Since I'm recording, I can't click it, but yeah, maybe Joey, want to check out that comment in chat. All right, next up we have Titan with 2 topics. So Titan, you want to take those away?
Yeah, sorry, my kids are going to be loud in the background, so hopefully it's not too distracting.
No worries.
Yeah, so my first topic was around LLM requests and what people. So I'll give you some context. Eliza is going to be, sorry, not Eliza, Sarah is primarily an emotional agent. So most agents, especially in the ELIZA ecosystem, and they're all very logical agents, right? They want to help you, they're service to you, they're polite to you. Whereas Sarah is an emotional agent. She is making primarily emotional decisions on what to do with her game and how you interact with her. So I was using the ELIZA OS framework, and I'm going to be moving away from it actually for more customization. And in doing so, what I want to do is the first LLM request updates her emotions, which I got working. The second LLM request, I want it to take her emotions and then output a prompt, so a set of instructions for the final prompt, which is generate her response. But it seems as though every time you ask it to generate a prompt, it generates a response. So it's getting stuck in this kind of this loop of wanting to always generate text that an agent would say rather than generating text that is a set of instructions. And I can't tell if that's the model that's giving me that restriction or if it's just my prompt engineering isn't good enough to get that type of text out of the LLM response. I'm just wondering if anyone has any ability or experience getting instructions out of a LLM rather than just a text response. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense to anybody.
Yeah, I was just going to echo what people are saying in the chat is in the system message, checking to make sure that it's like actually outputting a prompt. And then sometimes we'll do like input parameters, like as an example. So it knows what to be like actually what the structure should be. Um, because sometimes if it doesn't have like a clear version of the structure that it needs to come out in, it will just default to like a probability, which is like, yeah, just responding.
Right. Okay. So modify the system prompt more so than the text prompt to try and get that response.
Yeah, system messaging is like a mini agent, right? So you actually have this agentic workflow, and in there you can really customize. It depends on what model you're using, because if it's too long, too many tokens, right, it'll start to lose like the context of what it needs to do. But if you can really kind of contextualize it and give it like even specific examples of exactly how to do it, I think it could at least get you a better result to start. I would have to see the code or see like what is actually the output, but that would be my first suggestion.
Yeah. Okay. That's actually something I forgot to investigate was the system prompt. So thank you. Yeah, I just started working on it today because I'm trying to take a different approach, just a fundamental different approach to this agent where, you know, she's an emotion. She runs off of emotions. Her entire decision is based on her emotions, and so, but it's still she isn't quite dynamic enough. Like there isn't enough variety of responses. So what I wanted, yeah, like I said, I wanted to create it based on her emotions, create a prompt on what she should reply with, right? And then that way it brings you kind of a step removed from just the one LM call, right? So it's like a and so yeah, I think messing with the system message actually would probably get us there. So okay, good. That's excellent feedback. Thank you for that.
Yeah, if you
Navigator and
find
Sean, I appreciate that.
if you fine tune at the prompt level, like when you do it, because the thing is that AI alone is just probability. So emotions don't really mean anything without context, right? And so maybe also try. I think I remember you said there's like 4 emotions for Sarah or something. So like actually take those emotions and break them down with examples, and maybe you can even have some kind of library of like nearby emotions, like if like sad, right? Like sad could be maybe 4 other things like melancholic or blah blah blah, and so you could actually give it somewhere to gather even information from. Like an example, this is not to make the output prompt, but in one of our like applications, users input responses, and then it's like matched against these parameters, and then also a library of like examples, so that it at least knows where to match from to make its own choice, like, oh, I'm making a good choice or not.
Great. I'm just writing that down because this is going to be full of emotions within the prompts. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's really helpful, because I'm just trying to. Everyone's really happy with the front end. Everyone's really happy with the live stream. Everyone's really happy with the quality of everything except for the dynamic response. Like, it's just not dynamic enough. And so this triple distilled kind of version where there's like 3 levels of distilling down a direction which you might go might help bring just more uniqueness and entropy. So thank you so much. The second topic was around just Berlin. So obviously, Livepeer is hosting at the Agent Day in Berlin, and so they've graciously allowed us to take the keynote spot, 30-minute keynote speech in Berlin to talk about what we're building with agents, because it is an agent day, so it's very specific to agents. And so we're going to be doing a keynote on kind of what we're building and how to get involved, as well as we're doing some booth demos with Sarah, and then obviously the other agents kind of mock-ups that we have available for people to experiment with. And so if you are in Berlin or nearby, feel free to swing by the Livepeer booth, where we're going to be hanging out all day and giving a demo. So I just want to give a quick shout out to that, and thanks to Livepeer Inc. for kind of setting that all up and inviting us to come along. So that's about it. Thank you, everyone.
Hey, Titan, is Livepeer Inc. participating with you in the booth, or are you representing Livepeer Inc. in the booth?
Good question. No, I think it's Livepeer Inc. is going to be representing. They're going to be doing like Daydream demos, and they were going to be so they're going to be doing that demo, and then I think there's 2 monitors at the booth, so like we can just kind of parallel next to them, and it's kind of like, here's one product, here's another, like, what are you interested in, and then like I said, they offered the keynote spot to us because of we're literally building agents at the Agent Day, so so we'll be working alongside them. But this is all, I believe, sponsored and brought to you by Livepeer Inc. So just really appreciate it. Cool.
Awesome. Yeah, and thank you, Titan, for attending that. I think it's going to be a smash hit. The last, we have, I think, one topic from Sean, so that will be the last topic, unless other folks in the audience have anything else they want to talk about or anything else that came up during the Watercooler chat. But take it away, Sean.
Hey everyone. I'll just keep it short because I was also here last week. But our pre-proposal for the Take Two for the Creative Industries SPE is in the forum, and just wanted to kind of clarify what that is looking like, especially after having some meetings with Peter and Brad, and we'll have another one this week as well, and thinking through just realistically what we can do in the time frame that we've set out for, and then also happy to answer any questions that anyone might have here. But essentially, the goal is that we'll be bringing some new models onto the network, mostly around conversational AI. We're looking at Chatterbox, which is text to speech, and also utilizing existing pipelines to create a playground that is both for people to easily be able to put into their own applications. So people like Floor to the Floor or other events that happen, other sort of creative partners that want to have like a, let's say, gas station style. And then we also will have a set of templated workflows. Right now it's 6 that people can easily go in and add their own inputs and then get an output. So an example around this, actually not around emotional agents, but we're working on a project in development, and one of the, let's say, activities for guests is around a quiz, like what type of I can't like I actually was gonna say what it is, but I can't say exactly the quiz type. But imagine, like, what type of superhero are you? What type of 90s fashion model are you? Like all of these different pieces that you can put in, and then run that with an avatar. So you would have like a one-shot avatar to personalize this experience also for guests. Um, Thinking through, we were just playing around because the idea of this is that it's actually open source. We can continue to update with models, and that it can live somewhere on a .org or potentially somewhere inside of the Livepeer ecosystem, meaning that we could also help to aggregate documentation into like a very user-friendly, like the step between, let's say, traditional technical developers and this new creative technologist lane. Um, and yeah, just on our side, really excited about some of the opportunities in terms of usage. So I mentioned briefly last time, it's a project that we are working on, like aside from Livepeer, but how we want to be able to use the network at scale. And this is for like a new sort of ticketing concept that's going into already a mature business around ticketing. And so we would basically do a test for a month this summer with a production. So we would be able to really work through some of the real-time AI video pieces, other of the primitives that would be in the playground. And what we basically use there would be able to go into this larger scale sit down that happens in 2026, and they are looking at like 200,000 pre-sale tickets. It's very, very large, sort of like, yeah, like celebrity IP. But what's also interesting about that is because of the like IP clearance and things like this, we can potentially get access to some celebrities to trial in things like Daydream or the real-time AI alongside of that. So that then also, yeah, it just opens up another opportunity there. So if you have any feedback, I didn't check in the chat, but happy to really jam on this a little bit. I know some of the feedback that we've gotten, we really tried to take it and apply it to what we do now. And think that we have a really unique opportunity to solve some of the like, yeah, like this how do you actually put the AI together and create something useful, and then how can that be replicable across multiple different types of yeah, of the market segment. So I'll drop that again, but if anyone has any questions or additional feedback, let me know. I'm very happy to take it into account. And then, yeah, we'll just continue working on what this looks like. I think the outcome of all of this is, as the first pilot was around like really frameworks and foundations, and we have a lot of like how we decide what's a good idea or what to sort of pursue and where we think there could be opportunity. And that was like a really big part of the first stage, also to lay like things for people to go back to on the internet to be able to learn or discover like what we're trying to build out. And this second part is kind of taking some of those places where we really think there is opportunity and usage, and some of those partners that we were able to onboard already, and have them help us amplify all of this into the next stage. So I imagine the future could look like this is its own gateway with some kind of fiat on ramp for those types of partners, and that also we would be able to directly disperse. Even though with this time we are dispersing a lot to different like players, let's say, that are like helping to put this all together, and sort of the next version of this, I think that can go even further because they will have had a longer time to onboard, understand what's possible, apply this and test it in their own yeah, like in their own industry and be able to really know how they could use it in a very impactful way. I think the market is still not 100% ready for things. And so it's important, especially with these mature businesses and entertainment and things like this, that really are, have been around for hundreds of years and aren't really going to like necessarily crumble just because the new technology is here. They're really trying to adapt into it by being early and setting Livepeer as like a really amazing open source sort of toolkit that they can use that also has GPUs and compute and things that they're going to need at scale. I think it's just a really great positioning, and I hope that we can help be a part of that, yeah, as it goes forward. So yeah, that's all I have for now.
Awesome. Thank you, Sean. And again, if anyone has any comments for either Sean or Joey, please drop them on the forum so they can capture those and take everyone's feedback in. Well, I think that was the last topic we have for today. Any lingering topics folks want to bring up? I know last time we had mentioned the target participation for the on-chain treasury and inflation. If anyone has any additional thoughts there, feel free to mention them, but I'll give people 30 seconds, and if we don't hear anything, then we will wrap Watercooler for today. Alrighty. Well, thank you everybody for joining today's Watercooler. I'm really excited for the next month. We're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff in the community and hopefully getting some new faces in here as well. I hope everyone has a good rest of their Monday and a really good week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.